you can play soft. Soft will make them toe the line. Love's baby soft.
The 1970s didn't whisper. They announced themselves in clouds of musk, patchouli, and pure confidence. Back then, perfume wasn't something you dabbed delicately behind your ears. It was armor. It was personality. It was the scent that walked into the room 3 seconds before you did and stayed in the elevator long after you left. These are 10 perfumes from the 1970s that didn't just smell good. They made statements, started conversations, and somehow convinced an entire generation that more was always better. Number 1, Charlie by Revlon. If the 1970s had an anthem, it was the Charlie commercial. A woman in wide-leg trousers strutting through the city, briefcase in hand, not asking permission from anyone. Charlie wasn't just perfume, it was revolution in a bottle. Launched in 1973, it became the first fragrance marketed to the independent woman, the one who worked, earned her own paycheck, and didn't need a man to buy her luxuries. The scent itself was fresh, citrusy, with just enough floral to feel feminine without being soft. You sprayed it on before job interviews, first dates you initiated, and nights out with your girlfriends. The bottle was simple, sleek, modern, nothing frilly or decorative. Because Charlie wasn't about being pretty. It was about being powerful. Mothers bought it, daughters borrowed it, and everywhere you went, someone was wearing it. Department stores, office buildings, disco floors. Charlie was the scent of a woman on the move. Even now, catching a whiff takes you straight back to polyester blazers, platform shoes, and that feeling that the whole world was finally opening up. Number 2, Enjoli.
The 8-hour perfume for the 24-hour woman.
I can work till 5 o'clock, come home and read you tickety-tock.
Tonight.
If Charlie was about independence, Enjoli was about doing it all and looking good while collapsing from exhaustion. The commercial showed a woman racing through her day, briefcase, apron, negligee, switching roles faster than a quick-change artist. And the perfume? It was supposed to keep up. Enjoli smelled like ambition mixed with desperation. Floral, slightly spicy, with that unmistakable 70s musk that clung to everything. You wore it to prove you could handle the career, the kids, the marriage, and still have energy left for romance at 11 p.m. Spoiler alert, most women were exhausted, but Enjoli made you smell like you had it together, even when your pantyhose had a run and dinner was frozen lasagna. The bottle was shaped like a woman's silhouette, curves, confidence, and a cap that always stuck. But you kept it on your dresser anyway, right next to the hairspray and hot rollers, because wearing Enjoli meant you were trying. And in the 70s, that was half the battle. Number 3, Love's Baby Soft.
There's one person nobody can resist, and that's a baby. So love made baby soft, because innocence is sexier than you think. For your baby.
This one was complicated. Love's Baby Soft launched in 1974 and immediately became every teenage girl's obsession. The powder pink bottle, the baby powder scent, the ads featuring young girls in pigtails with the tagline that made you tilt your head and go, "Wait, what?" It smelled exactly like a freshly bathed infant. Talc, vanilla, clean skin. You'd spray it before school, before the mall, before anywhere you hoped to run into your crush. It was sweet, innocent, and somehow the complete opposite of what the ads implied. The whole campaign walked a weird line between wholesome and not. But we didn't overthink it back then. We just knew it smelled good and the boys noticed. Sleepovers smelled like Love's Baby Soft. Lockers reeked of it. That one girl in homeroom bathed in it. And despite the questionable marketing, it represented something real. The confusing space between childhood and adulthood that every 70s teen was trying to navigate in tube tops and too much eyeliner. Number 4. Jontue by Revlon.
But not too far from innocence. Jontue from Revlon. Wear it and be wonderful.
Jontue arrived in 1975 as the softer, dreamier sister to Charlie. While Charlie was striding confidently into boardrooms, Jontue was twirling barefoot through a meadow at sunset. The commercials were pure 70s romance, flowing dresses, soft focus, a man running toward a woman in slow motion while violins swelled. The scent was delicate, floral, almost ethereal. Rose, jasmine, and something that smelled like fresh laundry drying in the sun. It wasn't the perfume you wore to close a deal. It was the one you wore when you wanted to feel beautiful, feminine, maybe a little bit in love. Jontue lived on vanities in frosted glass bottles that caught the light just right. Mothers wore it to dinner parties. Brides wore it on their wedding day. And that tagline, sensuous but not too far from innocence, captured the whole vibe perfectly. You could be grown up without losing your softness. You could be desired without being dangerous. Number 5. Jontue.
There's nothing you can't do.
No, I want to do it again.
The green bottle that belonged in every single bathroom in America. Jontue wasn't technically perfume, it was after-bath splash, but we treated it like cologne anyway. You'd slap it on after a shower, and the sharp citrus scent would wake you up faster than coffee. Lemon, lime, herbs. It smelled clean, almost medicinal, like something a nurse might wear. But in the 70s, that freshness felt modern, energizing, the opposite of heavy florals your grandmother wore. It came in massive bottles because you didn't dab Jontue. You poured it. You splashed it everywhere like you were baptizing yourself in vitamin C. The real magic? It doubled as everything. Deodorant alternative. Cooling spray on hot summer nights. Something to spritz on your sheets. Jontue wasn't fancy, but it was reliable. The scent of clean starts, Saturday mornings, and feeling put together, even when you absolutely weren't. Number 6. Cachet by Prince Machiavelli.
A fragrance as individual as you are. Cachet Perfume by Prince Machiavelli.
The crown-shaped bottle that looked like it belonged in a fairy tale. Prince Machiavelli knew how to package fantasy, and Cachet was their 70s masterpiece. Launched in 1970, it came in that distinctive gold crown bottle that made every dresser look a little more elegant. Cachet was mysterious, sophisticated, slightly smoky. It had depth, woods, spices, flowers, layered in a way that felt grown up. This wasn't a teenage scent. This was what you wore to gallery openings, cocktail parties, anywhere you needed to seem more worldly than you actually were. The ads promised intrigue and romance, showing couples in candle-lit rooms, stolen glances, secrets whispered. And somehow, spraying on Cachet made you feel like you were living in one of those scenes, even if you were just heading to the grocery store in your station wagon. Number 7. Smitty.
Introducing Smitty, the spirited, sexy new fragrance by Coty.
The perfume oil that came in a tiny glass vial and cost about $1. Smitty wasn't sold in department stores. You found it at the drugstore checkout, hanging on a cardboard display next to the chewing gum. But that dollar bottle packed a punch. Smitty was pure musk, earthy, sensual, almost animalistic. One drop lasted all day, sometimes all week. You'd dab it on your wrists, behind your knees, and by lunch, everyone knew you'd arrived. It was the scent of teenage rebellion, of girls who rolled their jeans tight and boys who grew their hair long. The vial was so small you could hide it anywhere. Locker, purse, pocket. And because it was cheap, everyone had one. Smitty didn't discriminate. Rich girls wore it, poor girls wore it. It was the great equalizer in a tiny glass bottle that probably cost 3 cents to manufacture. Number 8. Wind Song by Prince Machiavelli.
Your wind song stays on my mind. Wind Song by Prince Machiavelli.
That commercial jingle lived rent-free in everyone's head. Wind Song launched in the early 70s and immediately became the perfume of romance, mystery, and lingering impressions. The ads showed couples dancing, embracing, with the tagline promising your scent would haunt him long after you'd gone. Wind Song was floral and powdery with a musky base that indeed stayed on everything: clothes, hair, furniture, probably the neighbor's cat. It came in an elegant bottle with a decorative cap, sitting proudly on dressers across America. Women wore it on date nights, anniversaries, any time they wanted to be remembered. And the truth is, you were. Wind Song didn't fade politely. It announced itself and refused to leave, like a guest who overstayed, but everyone secretly enjoyed having around. Number 9. Babe by Fabergé.
Like you, so fresh and new, we named it after you, babe.
Babe launched in 1977 and immediately positioned itself as bold, confident, unapologetic. The bottle was sleek black glass with gold accents, nothing frilly, nothing delicate. The scent matched the packaging, strong, musky, with oriental spices that felt almost masculine in their intensity. This was for the woman who drank whiskey, not white wine, who spoke her mind, not her peace, who walked into a room and owned it without trying. Babe smelled like leather jackets, late nights, decisions you'd make again. It wasn't safe, it wasn't sweet, and that's exactly why women loved it. In a decade that was still figuring out what female empowerment looked like, Babe was one very clear answer: powerful, unafraid, and impossible to ignore. Number 10. Ciara by Revlon.
Ciara, the thoroughly female fragrance by Charles Revson. What will it remind you of?
The perfume that closed out the decade in 1973 but defined its entire mood. Ciara was mystery bottled in black glass. The scent was deep, complex, exotic. Amber, woods, spices layered so thick you could almost taste them. This wasn't a daytime perfume. Ciara came out after dark. You wore it to dinner parties, theater nights, anywhere candlelight and wine were involved. It smelled expensive even if it wasn't, sophisticated even if you were faking it. The bottle itself was a work of art, black, heavy, with a design that looked like something an archaeologist might unearth. Opening it felt ceremonial, and when you sprayed it on, you weren't just wearing perfume. You were stepping into a role, the mysterious woman, the one with secrets, the one worth remembering. These scents were more than fragrances. They were time capsules, bottling up the energy of a decade that was finding its voice, its style, its confidence. And even now, decades later, one whiff can transport you back to shag carpets, rotary phones, and the absolute certainty that you could conquer anything as long as you smelled good doing it.